So this is all about turning problems into opportunities, looking at the world as opportunity rich, basically making something from nothing. But you know what? Being an entrepreneur is much more than just that. That's the tip of the iceberg. It might be the core of the iceberg. But there are lots of other things that you need to do to be successful entrepreneurs. And one of them is you need to be able to make your own luck. Now, it's interesting. When I gave this talk 3 years ago, this didn't say make your own luck. It said the harder I work, the luckier I get. Because that's what my father taught me. My father taught me that the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I really, really absorbed this idea. And I learned to work really, really hard. But as I've been thinking over the last 3 years, I've learned that there are many other things you can do to make yourself lucky. Hard work is only one lever that you have at your disposal. Because you can make yourself lucky, you need to be open-minded, you need to be optimistic, you need to look at the world through a special set of lenses. In fact, one of my colleagues from Chile, Carlos Vignola, always says to his students, if you go into a room and you do not meet someone new, at the least you've missed out on an opportunity of learning something or making a friend, and at the most, making $1 million. In fact, it's really true. He says any room, there's $1 million waiting for you. You just have to find it. In fact, it's funny because a couple of weeks ago when we were hosting Steve Ballmer as a speaker, that made sense. He was in his dorm and down the hall was Bill Gates. There was certainly more than $1 million down the hall, right? So I encourage you to look around all the people who were sitting right here. Where are the opportunities? And this happens everywhere, all the time. Let me tell you a fun little story that brings this to life. A few years ago when my kid, Josh, was little, he was probably about this big, I was at the grocery store. And this is about making your own luck, right? And you never know what you're going to find when you say hello to someone. I'm at the grocery store, and this man came up to me. He was there with his little daughter. And we were walking down the frozen food aisle, and he had a can of lemonade. And he said, can you explain to me how to make this lemonade? Now, he had an accent. He wasn't from the area, and he certainly didn't know that, put 3 cans of water in with the concentrated lemon juice. So I explained it to him. But that wasn't the end of the conversation, because for most people, though, they'd say, thank you very much, you're welcome, and that's the end. But I thought, what is he doing here? I'd like to know a little bit more about him. So when I got in line at the checkout stand, there were several choices, and I got in line behind him. I was not stalking him. I just was sort of curious. And in fact, that's the point. It's about being curious. Okay? So I started chatting, and I said, gee, you seem like you're new in town. What are you doing here? So at first he was a little bit, cautious, like, why are you asking me this? But I was very friendly and nice. And he said, well, I'm here. I'm from Chile. I'm from Santiago, and I'm going to be taking over my family's business. And I am here in Silicon Valley for a while to learn about entrepreneurship and innovation. I said, that's so great. I actually work at Stanford and I'm involved with this program where we teach people about entrepreneurship and innovation, and I'd be happy to help you out. So here's my card. If I can be helpful in any way, feel free to give me a call. So he gave me a call or sent me an email, and I introduced him to a few people who might be helpful. I had some friends who are from Chile who I got him connected to. He ended up bringing an entourage of people to the area who knew. He brought the president of the country and 2,500 other people. But, he was a really nice guy, and I just was helpful. A few years later, I ended up finding myself down in Chile. I went down, we were running a conference there, a roundtable on entrepreneurship education, and I was there with a couple of my colleagues. You might know them, Deborah Dunn and Randy Commissar were there with me. And I called up, his name was Eduardo, and I sent him an email, and I said, Eduardo, I'm going to be down in Santiago. Can we get together for a cup of coffee? Would that work for you? He said that would be great. But as the time came up, he sent me another message, said, I'm too busy, I just can't make it. But do me a favor, go to this building, there's an office building in the middle of the city, go there, bring a couple colleagues, and that's why I mentioned Deborah and Randy, because they came along with me, and he says, I've got a treat for you. So we went there, we got met by one of his colleagues, who took us up to the roof of the building. We were picked up by his family's helicopter, flown over the city, taken up to his family's ski resort, and back down to the city. And that's what it's all about. I have to... No, the point is, here's the deal. Being an entrepreneur and making your own luck is not about turning lemons into lemonade. It's about turning lemonade into helicopters.